All right. Well, Grant Smithers, the director of the Adam Ward Classic Tournament coming up this weekend, starting off Friday and Saturday. A lot of action. And first of all, Coach, appreciate your help on this and your time. I got to ask you, what is a year away from COVID? Didn't have it last year due to COVID and all those things, but just talk about just having it back.
One of the things we've been looking to forward to this for a while. The last couple of years have been difficult on everyone. And I think one of the things that was missing was, high school sports. Last year when I was officiating, there weren't fans in the stands. So that was a little bizarre. And you didn't have the same type of atmosphere that you always do in high school basketball. And that's something that we look forward to. This year, we're starting to see more and more crowds. We're starting to see people come out. And we really wanted to make sure that we could have the event this year, an opportunity for people to get out and just, remember Adam, celebrate Adam and his life, and then just to get people back together in the community. That was really important to us.
So obviously, because of all the construction going on, the one of the new things, it'll be over at Glenvar High School for the 2 days. Are there any other new things, like as far as who this benefits or anything else new that we could share?
Yeah, our colleagues at Glenvar High School have been remarkable. As you mentioned, Salem High School is undergoing a renovation. So we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of room for people and we had plenty of space to put everyone and all of our teams and make sure everyone was accommodated. But the athletic director there, Jason Murray, and the principal, Corey Franklin, they've been wonderful in terms of helping us. They've really gone out of their way to make us feel accommodated. Adam's father, Buddy Ward, he actually coached and taught at Glenvar High School. So there's a connection there. So they've gone out of their way to help us. This year is a little bit different because it's a 2-day event. On Friday night, Salem and Glenvar are having a doubleheader. So we're bringing those two communities together. The JV boys and JV girls are being added this year for Glenvar High School and Salem High School. And then the varsity boys and the varsity girls will be playing Friday night at Glenvar High School as well. That's something we'd like to do moving forward. I think it's a good rivalry game and it's a great way to bring those communities together for a great cause. And there's a connection there with the Ward family, with both Glenvar High School and Salem High School. And then Saturday will be action packed. I mean, we've got some of the best teams in the area playing, a lot of great matchups. We'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning and we'll probably finish at 10 o'clock at night. So it's a long day of basketball, but it's one we all look forward to, and we love being part of the event.
So talk again, just want to make sure we have all this information. Who's going to benefit from this? Where are the organizations that will benefit?
Yeah, we're very proud each year to award scholarships. The Salem Educational Foundation established a Adam Ward Scholarship Fund when Adam was tragically taken from us. And then the Adam Ward Adam Ward Classic was established in 2016. So each year we give away at least 2 scholarships that are at least $5,000. And if the money's there are 2 $10,000 scholarships that are awarded to 2 Salem High School students that are deemed Adam-like. We have a committee that looks at all the different applicants for this award. We're very proud of the winners. They're doing extremely well. They're paying it forward in their community. They've all been wonderful ambassadors for Salem High School during their high school career and after their high school career as well. One of the things we're looking to do this year is have even more outreach. So we not only want to contribute to the Adam Ward Scholarship Fund, but if things go well, we also want to provide some scholarships to some of the teams that are participating. We've had a lot of schools that have been there each and every year, and there are a lot of stories out there of students who are just like Adam, who are wonderful people that do really good things in their community and do wonderful things for their school. So one of the things we want to do is to provide at least 4, $250 or $500 scholarships for worthy young men or women that will benefit, from our event this weekend. And then we also each year make a donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Special Olympics. Those were 2 of Adam's charities that were near and dear to his heart. So our goal in the future is just to continue expanding our outreach and try to not only help students at Salem High School, but help students throughout the Roanoke Valley and the state of Virginia and help those who are in need. So I think we're headed in the right direction.
I think I remember when we were discussing this, I remember you were talking about eventually you want this to be a 2-day event. And now that it's here, just how special is it that now, it is a 2-day affair?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we wanted to do. We wanted to expand. At first we weren't sure logistically if we could do it. Then we wanted to make sure that we had enough teams for our games on Saturday. And then we were trying to find a way to have at least 2 or 3 games on Friday night. In the future, we might add another game on Friday night. We might be able to, depending on their schedule, add Oak Hill Academy once again, perennial top 10, 15 team in the nation. So we're always thinking of ways to evolve. But we are taking pride in the fact that we're able to expand to 2 days. We have a lot of teams who would like to play in the event. We try to honor our flagship teams, the teams that have been with us first, and then we try to rotate the other teams as much as possible. Next year, I do know we'll have a couple of new teams, so that will be unique. This year, we have a couple of new teams in the event as well. So we have a lot of really great matchups. I hope everyone will come out and support the events. A lot of hard work goes into this. Hank Luton, a good friend of mine, who's the co-founder, he puts a lot of work into this. And then Jerry Spangler, from the commissioner of the Western Virginia Basketball Officials Association. You're not going to find a man who works harder than he does behind the scenes. I mean, he is a huge basketball advocate for the Roanoke Valley in the state of Virginia, and he has been working extremely hard since last year to help put this event together. So in combination with the athletic directors at Salem and Glenvar, we feel really good about our event and the things that are going on, but we couldn't do it without the help of those people I just mentioned.
How neat is it to, with events like this, like you said, you have teams that want to get in. It's just sometimes it's hard to find a spot. How neat is it to have that much support from the teams? Because teams want to play in this, and they want to do that.
Yes, it makes us feel really good about what we're doing because we do take pride in what we're doing. We like to think we're very organized. We're very detail oriented. We like to take care of our players. Each of the players in the event, they get a t-shirt. They also get some new type of product that's on the market, whether it's body armor when it first came out. This year it's Body Light. So there's a variety of different things that we try to do for the players within the event. We also like to take care of, the coaches and the administrators. And as you know, the media, we like to make sure everyone's fed well on Saturday. That's important to us. We want to keep everyone happy. But we try to take care of everyone as much as possible. And I think because we have so many of our officials involved and so many former coaches that are, involved in our event, it just becomes a huge community outreach. And, we're proud that, we stay pretty busy during the year of people calling us, asking to play in the event. And we never have a shortage of teams, and that's great. Because, it's hard sometimes to put together an event like this, and sustainability is difficult from time to time. But we like where we are. And we think we're headed in the right direction. And, this is a labor of love. We really, really enjoy it. I was joking with my wife last night. My phone was ringing off the hook. And this is probably my busiest week of the year leading up to this event. But it's also my favorite week of the year because, it brings back a lot of wonderful memories of Adam and his family. And that means a lot to me. And I think Adam would be very proud of this event. One of his former colleagues at Channel 7, they mentioned to me, Adam's probably looking down going, really? This is for me? What are you guys thinking? But he would be here on the front row yelling at the referees, doing whatever he could. But it's just a wonderful event because it allows us to see people, whether it's in the media like yourself, people that we consider good friends that pay it forward and do good things in the community. And we take pride in that. And we're very thankful for you and the media and the people who are really good to us and take care of us year in, year out.
Well, Grant, we appreciate those kind words. I mean, it goes without saying that's what we're here for. We're here for the community. We're here to help out and support organizations and events like this one. So talk about real quick the ticket prices. What is the tickets and how those will be distributed and all that stuff.
Yeah, Friday night, the adult ticket price will be $7. Then children ages, that will be 10 and up. So 10 and up will be $7. Ages 5 to 9 will be $5. And then anyone under the age of 5 will be free. And then Saturday is an all-day ticket, an all-day event. So Saturday, anyone 10 and older will be $10. And then ages 5 to 9 are $5. And then under the age of 5 will get in free. I'm glad you asked the question, because one of the things we try to do is try to help families. So this year we actually added the ticket price of ages 5 to 9 for $5. So we really want to help families bring their children. We have a lot of contests with our children, half-court shootouts and hot shot contests and that kind of thing between games. And the children get to come on the court and they get to shoot in front of everyone. And it's a lot of fun. We give away a lot of prizes for the kids. The event is primarily, for the adults, so to speak, in terms of watching basketball. But, this is also for the kids, because if you create a fan of basketball at a young age, I've had several kids tell me at the Adam Ward Classic, one day I hope I get to play in the event. I can't wait to come back and put a jersey on and play in this event. That would be awesome. And hopefully you'll remember me when I hit my 3-point shot for a gift card from Chick-fil-A, that kind of thing. So that's been pretty neat through the years.
Now, as far as when you look at the event in itself, you mentioned something that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. You mentioned just the scholarship money and the scholarship that's gone to Salem High School students. So going back to 2016, when this event first started, to now. So basically someone who got the scholarship, if they got it then, they're obviously probably done with college and they're back. Have you kept in contact or kept up with a lot of the people who've gotten a scholarship, and what is their reaction to what you guys have done to help with their education?
Our former scholarship winners, they're very appreciative. They're all doing well. Post high school, they've gone on to, all walks of life. Some have gone into the medical field. Some have gone in to become business professionals, but they've all done wonderful things in their community. They keep in touch. A lot of them are my former students. And they like to come back to the event. Some of their former scholarship winners, if possible, have come back to support the event as well. Actually, one of Adam's former colleagues, or I guess one of his colleagues and then one of his friends from high school, recently just got in touch with us, and they're actually sponsoring the event. So that's happened more than once. So we have several of his former friends who sponsor the event and make a donation. And, we'll see quite a few people from all walks of life that knew Adam to come to the event. And that's really special. But those students, we keep in touch. And I'm very proud to say that they're continuing to be Adam-like, and they're doing a lot of wonderful things, paying it forward in the community. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that we choose the right people. And I think right now we've done that. And we're very proud of that.
Probably helps to unmute myself right there. I don't know, I clicked it. You mentioned something else too, new this year, that the participating teams, some of those players will be getting scholarships and all that. How did that idea come about?
Well, we were always trying to think of ways that we could pay it forward outside the Salem community. And this has become a Roanoke Valley event. Some of our biggest crowds have come from William Fleming High School and Patrick Henry High School and some of the local schools in the area. So we wanted to do something, provide an opportunity for those teams in a way that could help us tremendously. And one of the things we thought about is, why not provide some scholarship money for some students who are Adam-like at other schools that are participating in the Adam Ward Classic. So what we're going to do is, after the event, we'll reach out to each of the schools who participated in the event. They will have an opportunity to submit a name of someone who they deem Adam-like, someone who is a good representative of their school, someone who pays it forward. They're a friend to everyone. They help others when necessary or when others are in need. And what we'll do is we have a committee and a group of people that will look at all those submissions. And then we'll choose a 4. It just depends on how much money we bring in, how much revenue we bring in, but we hope to do a minimum of 4 scholarships for individuals who we deem Adam-like. And we think that is one way that we can pay it forward to schools who participate. And we're going to tell our coaches and our athletic directors It doesn't have to be a basketball player. It can be a manager. It can be a statistician. It can be someone that is associated with the team that maybe they're in the background. Maybe they're not on the court, so to speak, and not in the limelight all the time, but there's someone that's very important to your program, very important to your school. So we're always looking for those next group or generation of students who are Adam-like and who are going to be very positive and do good things in their future and do a lot of wonderful things in society.
I kind of know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. You mentioned this is a year-round thing. Is there a day where you don't work on the Adam Ward Classic between the last whistle blown in the game on Saturday night to the first whistle of the first game for the next event? I'm sure there's not a day where somewhere along the line you have something to do with the Adam Ward Classic.
That's a great question. I teach a sports administration class at school, and one of the things that we talk about and I show them is, we're already working on 2023. We just confirmed a great girls matchup next year for 2023. We'll send out our invitations to the schools the following week for 2023 for the Adam Ward Classic. We're already working on sponsors for next year. So we're already reaching out, talking to schools, trying to see who's interested. Schools are reaching out to us. So, we're pretty busy. We don't mind talking to people. Jerry Spangler, again, our commissioner, he's really good at that. He's a great people person. Hank Luton's a great people person. I have the gift of gab, or I've been told, so I don't mind talking to people either. And, those are things that we enjoy doing. And, if you host an event and you take pride in your event, then you consistently try to improve. And that's what we're trying to do. We monitor feedback. We get feedback from the communities and the schools involved. And we've been very blessed that it's been very positive. And this is an event that people look forward to each year. And along with some of the other wonderful events, the Chance Harmon Classic, the Rock the Ribbon Classic, those types of things, this is something that provides an opportunity for people to get together and just enjoy basketball and escape the world of COVID-19, escape a pandemic, and realize we're headed in the right direction and good things are coming in our future. And this is pretty awesome stuff. And, let's just enjoy a day of basketball and bring the kids and have a good time.
You mentioned some other events around here. How neat is it to have so many events, like this? And each event, there's a reason for the event or there's a theme for the event. How neat is it to have so many great basketball classics, tournaments, all this, and the theme of it is due to a cause or due to a person or how someone has impacted someone?
We're very blessed that we have a lot of wonderful opportunities to pay it forward. The Chance Harmon Classic is a wonderful event. Coach Harmon at Floyd County High School does a wonderful job with the event. It honors his son who passed when he was young. So that event generates a lot of money that's donated for cancer research, children's cancer research. It's an event that I've attended many times. I've been blessed to officiate at the event. So it's something I enjoy going to because, again, it gives people an opportunity to pay it forward. We've actually made a donation to that event as well. That's one of the other ways we've tried to outreach and help other events. The Rock the Ribbon Classic is a wonderful event for cancer research as well. The people at Rockbridge County do a wonderful job hosting that event. Again, I've been blessed to officiate and be a part of that event as well. And, those are the games in officiating to me that I enjoy the most. I enjoy going to those tournaments and talking to people and supporting them and being a part of their event because their event is really important to their communities. It's really important to their causes. And, we're all in this together. We're trying to do some good things and pay it forward. So any chance we get to attend those, we try to attend those as much as possible. But it's really neat to have, multiple events that are doing good things within our area and our communities. And, to me, that's pretty awesome stuff. And it's something positive we can focus on within our communities.
I guess another question I have, I've asked, organizers of events. I mean, one event that kind of stood back, and this was many moons ago when Woody Deans or PH, he'd have the Crest Star Classic, and it's changed over the years, had different names. putting together matchups. But how do you make the matchups? I mean, do you talk to teams and let's say team A wants to play team B, do you set it up that way? How do you link up the teams? Because obviously one thing is I remember, one year you did have Salem and Glenvar play each other, and that's kind of an annual thing, and that's because of the connection between the two constituents. But how do you set up the matchups, or how does that work?
That's a good question. One of the things we do is we sit down as a committee. We have an Adam Ward leadership committee, and we sit down and we talk about matchups, and we try to put teams together that'll create a good matchup for the fans. And we try to look and see, and talk to the teams, and definitely talk to the coaches and find out, send an invitation, send some feelers out, ask the coaches, hey, would you be willing to play in the event next year? Potentially, would you like to play this team? And then we get an idea. We know immediately whether they're interested or whether there might be another team available that might be a better matchup for them and that kind of thing. So we try to bring together teams that are having success on the basketball court, doing good things. And then we reach out, we talk to the athletic directors as well, and try to put teams together where we'll have a good basketball game that people can watch and they go away saying, man, that's an awesome game. An example would be the Northside Radford rivalry. I mean, it's the only time they play during the year, but perennially they've been two of the best teams in our area for a long time. I mean, Coach Cormany and Coach Pope do a wonderful job. Probably the best high school basketball game I've seen in person might have been at our event a couple of years ago. And that was with Northside High School, Radford High School, standing room only. And it was unbelievable. So people continue to talk about that game. And that's what we try to do. We try to establish games where teams can play year in, year out if they want to. And it's a great matchup and the fans love it and they enjoy it. And we try to pair teams up with other teams that they don't play normally during the year. This year, a unique matchup is Cave Spring and Lord Botetourt. So we have Cave Spring High School, Lord Botetourt High School. They're two of the best teams in the area. I think they both are well coached and they can make a run in the state playoffs. So I think that's going to be a huge crowd, and I think people are looking forward to that. We have a lot of really, really good games, but that's sort of a unique matchup. They didn't play during the regular season. So that's what we're looking forward to. Most of the matchups, if you look, there's a reason behind the matchup a lot of people might not know. Another example I could give you would be West Point High School, which is past Williamsburg. Well, West Point High School is a smaller classification, but they're a really good basketball team, and they're coached by J.R. Montgomery, who was a former Pulaski County High School player who I coached against when I was a varsity coach at Salem High School. And then Mark Hanks was his basketball coach. Well, Mark Hanks volunteers his time and he's our announcer now. So it's a small world. So we try to, bring those small worlds together and support people so they can come back and be a part of something special. But we're always on the phone, always talking to coaches, and always looking to create matchups that we think will be really, really good.
So that's interesting, because I've always wondered that. I mean, I've wondered, has schools come in, let's say, like I said, if a school wants to play another school and do that. But it's kind of neat how you set those up, or there's a reason, there's a method behind the madness, as you say. Because there's some good, like for instance, like Cave Spring and Lord Botetourt could potentially meet each other in, the playoffs. And so I'm sure that's one thing. And, one thing I've heard from a lot of teams, these events get them, it's more of a playoff atmosphere too because of the matchups. It gets them ready to make a run for a state championship. And that's why I heard from a lot of coaches and teams. They say, hey, playing in the Adam Ward Classic or the Rock the Ribbon or the Chance Harmon, these are events that get them ready for postseason play.
Absolutely. I mean, that's it's a playoff atmosphere. I mean, it's a playoff atmosphere. There are a lot of people there. We usually have big crowds. We're expecting that this weekend. And, it's intense. There are a lot of good teams there and they want to win. They're competitive. Their coaches are competitive. And I think it does help prepare them for the postseason. And I think it's an opportunity for them. And I talk to the coaches and say, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to schedule someone that's a tough opponent. And that'll help have you battle tested and you'll be ready for the postseason. So that's what we try to do. And we think we've been able to do that. And several of our teams have gone on and advanced and won state championships. And we've had a lot of success with good matchups. So that's what we'll continue to do. Next year, I alluded to, but I don't mind announcing it. Next year, Carroll County High School, their girls basketball team this year's, ranks in the top 5 in the state. They're young. They're going to be good again next year. They're actually small world again. They're coached by, when I was the varsity boys basketball coach at Carroll County High School, Mark Motley was my JV basketball coach. So Mark is the girls coach at Carroll County High School. So Mark next year has agreed to play Patrick Henry High School girls, and Patrick Henry High School girls have a new coach and they're doing well. And the Blues done a wonderful job with that program. So we reached out and he said, absolutely, we'll play. So that'll be an awesome matchup next year for people to look forward to. So we try to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then we hope for a yes. And when we get a yes, we're excited about it.
You mentioned something interesting, adding more girls games. And obviously when you look at the schedule, I mean, you're starting to play at 10 and you'll end at 10. I'm sure it's got to be kind of tough to jam it all in. I mean, obviously there's so many great boys teams, but there's also great girls teams. I guess, how do you kind of work that balance? Because, you could have an all girls Adam Ward and it'd be awesome. You could have an all boys Adam Ward, but to mix them together, I'm sure that's a sort of a labor of love. I'm sure it's a great, I don't want to say it's a problem. It's not a problem. I'm sure it's a great situation to have, knowing you have all these great teams you can match up, girls and boys.
It is. We'd like to expand our girls participants if possible. With that just comes logistics, trying to find time. Potentially we could look into adding a girls game on Friday night. And that's something that we'll talk about. We've always tried to have at least 2 girls games if possible. The first year we only had 1 girls game. So now we've evolved to a game on Friday night and then a game on Saturday. So we're continually trying to evolve because, girls basketball is important as well. I officiate both. I enjoy the relationships with both the girls basketball players and the boys basketball players. So that's important to us and something that we're looking forward to. And there are a lot of really good girls teams in the area, and they have a lot of fans that enjoy basketball. But you're right, potentially in the future, we could look to add some more games. That's something that we'll talk about. We're always trying to look for ways to get better, but that's one avenue and one suggestion that we think is a great one and one we've thought about. And in the future, you might see another game or 2 from the young ladies.
Now, this might sound like a nerdy question, because sometimes I'll ask these nerdy questions. How early, let's say if a team plays at, say, 5 in the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
how early do they typically get there? Because if you think about it, it's an all-day event, and I'm sure a team is not going to, if they play at 5, a team's probably not going to show up for the first game, but somewhere a little bit early. Typically, how early, and obviously locker rooms got to be an issue too, because I know at Salem, they have 4 locker rooms roughly. So, and at Glenvar, I think it's the same thing. So I'm sure you almost got to rotate them out pretty quick. So break that part of it down. I mean, I know it sounds like a nerdy question, but it's kind of an interesting question for me, because I see, when I'm shooting these events, I notice when you see the team roll in, and I'm sure you or Hank or Jerry or one of you guys are like, okay, here's where you are, here's your locker room, do all that. But break that part of it down, because that's sort of a lost situation there, a lost art with getting that lined up.
You're exactly right. I mean, you have to have a minimum of 4 locker rooms. So you have to have one for your first game of the day, and then you have to have another locker room for the next 2 teams that come in, because they cannot wait for the first 2 teams to clear out and use the same locker rooms. And then from there, you have 4 locker rooms that are occupied. So then you have to have another space where the teams can take their gear, put their gear if necessary, and then have, bathrooms available for them to use and that kind of thing. So it's logistics. You have to be organized. We've been blessed in the past. Hank and I are both very, very detail oriented and organized. And this year, I'm pleased to say that Jason Murray, the athletic director at Glenvar High School, he is as organized as we are, so he fit right in. And I joked last night with Hank, actually, we need to add him to our Adam Ward Classic Leadership Committee, because he's done such a wonderful job. But there is a method to the madness. I mean, you have to plan and you have to rotate teams through. We do have teams who come early, and that's awesome. If they come early, they get to watch some basketball. And it's sort of neat because if a team walks in, everyone starts talking about them. So if William Fleming High School walks in, people start talking and saying, oh, that's William Fleming. You know, they're pretty good this year. And then Liberty Christian comes in, they're like, well, who's William Fleming playing? They're like, oh, that's Liberty Christian Academy. That's a good team. So people start talking about it. And then those teams come in and they enjoy good matchups as well. So, you know, a lot of the fans from Fleming stay and watch PH and vice versa. But we have teams that come in 2 or 3 games ahead of time. I know I allude to it, but we think it's just going to be an awesome matchup. But I think we're going to have a lot of teams come to watch the Cave Spring Lord Botetourt game. I know I've already heard from some girls basketball fans in the area. They want to watch Carroll County. So a lot of the Roanoke Valley girls basketball fans are going to come and watch Carroll County and Spotswood. So, you know, our teams do come early. When we have Oak Hill Academy, we've been blessed to have them a few years. Their schedule just didn't warrant it this year. But when Oak Hill comes to town, you know, a lot of people come early, you know, so they can catch them as they're walking in, get autographs and selfies and that kind of stuff. But, you know, Oak Hill even comes early sometimes, depending on when they're playing. One year they came early and they watched the Northside Radford game. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So, yeah, we enjoy it when teams come early. We're ready for them. Jason has a plan. We've already talked. We're all going to meet tomorrow at Glenvar High School, and it'll be a long night and it'll be an early morning, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready to host another wonderful event.
I tell you what was crazy for me, Grant, was when Mac McClung was playing for Gate City and they played Pulaski County. And that was probably the craziest scene because there wasn't I don't think I've ever done this before. There wasn't any room for us to shoot on the baseline, you know, where we normally stand. Because I mean, I think he had a camera crew there and all this. And I'm saying to myself, so I think, you know, we went up and shot from the upper end of Salem, you know, it's the gym up there, up in the kind of the catwalk area. And it was kind of interesting to have that, you know, when teams come in, and it brings in a lot of buzz, like you mentioned, because yeah, these guys are rolling in and doing all that. So that's pretty neat. I got to ask you this question too. You know, in your time as a coach and as an official, did you ever, and obviously there's a reason why, you know, God rest his soul, Adam Ward, but did you ever see in your mind or picture yourself planning an event like this? If it wasn't obviously, you know, what happened with Adam, you know, but did you ever in your wildest dreams think, hey, you'd be involved in something like this?
Probably not. The one thing that I've tried to do though is like I've always tried to pay it forward. The one thing I've done at, you know, in my educational career is if we've had a student in need, you know, in our Salem community, we've had some students who have had cancer and who've battled cancer. And I've been involved in fundraising for each of those young men and young ladies. So I've always reached out. I've always paid it forward. That's something my mom and dad instilled in me and my brothers when we were growing up. So I've tried to do that. I've tried to always be an outreach person and try to help people. So, you know, the want to and the heart has always been there. You know, unfortunately, this tragic event was an avenue and gave us an opportunity to create something like this. But I think it's been a blessing for a lot of people. I know it's been a blessing for the Ward family. They're very appreciative. You know, we try to talk on a consistent basis. They've been able to attend the event each year that we've had the event. So I know it means a lot to them. And I know it means a lot to keep Adam's memory alive. But, you know, it's pretty amazing. Just as much as I've been around the game of basketball, it's pretty awesome to host an event and be able to help people and then look back and say, man, that was pretty cool. Like you mentioned the event when we had Mac McClung there from Gate City. I mean, that was a crazy scene. That's one of the craziest scenes I've been involved in sports. And I've been around sports a long time. And I mean, it was standing room only. There was social media there, you know, from all over the United States. And there were highlights posted everywhere all over the United States of Salem High School's gym and the Adam Ward Classic, just packed. And it was just awesome. And the one thing I'll say about Mac McClung is he stayed after that game over an hour, close to an hour and a half, and signed autographs and took pictures for everyone. Everyone. He told us that he would not leave until every young child if they wanted an autograph or a picture, that he would take care of them. And I will never forget that. And we were very appreciative of that. And that told us everything we needed to know about Gate City High School and Mac McClung. So that was a special night. So
I'll tell you one thing, that was bananas. Because like I said, we had to go up because there wasn't any, and it was not. There were fans. I mean, it was packed, and it was a good game too. If I remember, I think Pulaski beat Gate City that day. I think
Gate City ended up winning.
that's
So
right. Well,
yeah,
see,
it
that's
was
what
a
I'm saying.
good game, but it was a close game.
I
Mhm.
mean, it seems like there's so many games.
Oh, absolutely. I understand.
That's like me asking, could you tell me back in 2018, the third game of the day?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't do that to you. Grant, this has been a joy and this has been a pleasure. And, like I said, every year this event is so special and it's for a good cause and it keeps an awesome person's memory alive. I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to meet him because when I started here is when obviously the tragedy happened. And one of the people I was looking forward to meetings, I heard so much about him was Adam Ward. And,
Right.
but I know he's looking down on all of us and he's probably saying all this for me or what did Ric Flair would say? What's causing all this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you're a joy and a pleasure, and I'm glad we could help. And we're here for you. So again, congratulations on another great year. And I know you're like you say, you're working on 2023 already.
Absolutely, we are. And, I hope everyone will come out and support the event this weekend. It means a lot to us when you show up, and we'll make sure we take good care of you. We'll make sure that you want to come back in 2023. But I want to thank you. You've always been very respectful and done a wonderful job for sports within the Roanoke Valley, and you pay it forward with everything that you do. You're one of those guys that you're very Adam-like, and we appreciate that. And you've always done a wonderful job promoting our event, and that means a lot to not only the Ward family, but the leadership committee as well.
Well, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure, and I don't take it lightly. And it's like I said, it's always about paying it forward because it's not about me, it's not about anyone else, it's about the event. And you're a blessing. So, Grant, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.